How's it going? I hope everybody had a good New Year. Hope everybody had a good Christmas. My vacation is coming to an end, so I figured I'd get a video in here and post to the channel. Here's a big old ball of that bassalt rhyolite stuff that I got up north, and this one's really thin, so this is pretty brittle stuff. I hope I don't snap this thing in half, but man, if I can get a blade out of that, it'd be pretty awesome. So this side has the thickness and the flat edge, so let's try to zigzag that thing first. I always get out of the sunlight for the video. There was a natural crack in there. If I'm not careful, that hit will just split that thing. So damn it. Just try to whittle away at it, I guess, and not hit it too hard. Maybe I can zigzag from down here and work my way up to it. There we go. Now it's going to come off. Oh, there's just a tiny bit of it left. Now it's gone. Sweet. Hey guys, good morning. How's it going? I hope everybody had a good New Year. Hope everybody had a good Christmas. My vacation is coming to an end, so I figured I'd get a video in here and post to the channel. Here's a big old ball of that bassalt rhyolite stuff that I got up north, and this one's really thin, so this is pretty brittle stuff. I hope I don't snap this thing in half, but man, if I can get a blade out of that, it'd be pretty awesome. So this side has the thickness and the flat edge, so let's try to zigzag that thing first. I always get out of the sunlight for the video. There was a natural crack in there. If I'm not careful, that hit will just split that thing. So damn it. Just try to whittle away at it, I guess, and not hit it too hard. Maybe I can zigzag from down here and work my way up to it. There we go. Now it's going to come off. Oh, there's just a tiny bit of it left. Now it's gone. Sweet. get some of this off. I want to keep as much width as I can, but as thin as this is right here, it'll just collapse if I try to flake into it, so I definitely got to get rid of some of it. Get rid of it just a little bit more. Still too thin. You can kind of feel when the edge or the platform is strengthening up or getting stronger. It's not so paper thin anymore. Okay, same thing, this back is razor thin, so let's lose just a little bit of that. Alright, this is dished out, and flakes don't go into a dish, so I'm going to have to wait till I work some of this edge, and then this edge gets thicker so I can get under it and try to get some of that off, because that's already dished. This side has nice convexity. These flakes will peel. So I'll show that. So this dishes in. This has, you know, round convexity right here. That should work. See how the flake will go through that thicker part? The nice little flake. With flints and stuff, you don't have to rework the edge so much. It's so much stronger. It can take the hit, so you can leave the edge a little thinner and still kind of go at it. But man, this stuff you kind of can't. It's pretty rough. Now my platforms are kind of going this way near the tip. That. Okay, let's see if we can get that cortex off. Still too thin. Can't take the hit. Let's shoot one across from this side here. Let's see if I can get some of that cortex from that side. There's some of it sweet. I always get cut on this finger because I put that finger under to support it so it doesn't break. And on this stuff I don't wear gloves too much. I like the feel of it, but this stuff's still pretty sharp, and you can send a little flake into your hand if you're not careful. Once and for all, let's get that vortex off. Still didn't get it, almost. End up losing a little bit of that tip just trying to get that off. Almost. I think I can get it now. Coming in at a little angle. There she goes. All right, guys. So let's work that and see if we can take some of this ridge off, because there's a ridge there. Getting to that ridge, I'm sure when I lose width working it all, it'll eventually just come off, but I think I can get that here from the bottom. And this whole side's nothing but nice convexity, so that'll flake really nicely. Let's do what I said here. Nope, it broke off. It tried. Tried to go. I'll have one more shot at it. Let's try it from the base, guys. There we go. That ran all the way up that ridge. That's what I was looking for. Man, it couldn't go just a little farther and take that off, could it? Damn it. Okay, I got a nice platform here already. I'm going to take my first flake into this side. Get a little baby platform right here. Take a little flake. Got one poke, but I didn't see. Hopefully I can, it's a crunchy edge right there, it doesn't look that good. There we go, got some more of it all. Okay, let's shoot one across from this corner or this side and see if we can get some more of that cortex on. This looks like an old natural oxidized flake that was already there on the rock. You can see, or it was a natural crack or something, but it's got the color and patina. It's okay. Yeah, that platform's still leaning curled over to that side, so it's not. Give it a tiny bit of convexity. What are you barking at, bro? Losing width fast, trying to get this piece right. There we go. I got some flakage into that side. Much better. This is a tough call here, trying to get this cortex off. It's a pretty thin platform because it's already flat right there. Let's see if we can get a tater chip to go across it. Nope. Nope. Okay, I got a bump here. Let's focus on that and try to shoot a flake there. Some of these flakes are so thin, it's really hard to keep the size of it because you keep having to thicken that edge just to be able to work the point. So you lose a lot of the size of it, but sometimes it's better. There we go. It's better if the flake's thicker and you have a little bit more wiggle room. Uh-oh. There we go. That one was crushing for a little while though. that platform leans to that side. If it's thick enough and can handle the blow, should get a really nice flake. Nope, it kind of just crushed on me. Yeah, man, I don't know if I'm gonna get all of that off. Might clean up though, because it's just an old natural flake. Flake there. A little thickness right here, but that platform's not right. There we go, that's better. A little bit better. I just didn't want to go. Might have to do an indirect up here because I don't want to lose any more width up here. I want to keep that. Okay. Super thin back here. Right here, this corner is like super thin. It'll be good for notching, but man, that's kind of like a weak point right there. Ooh. Oh good, it came off. Still too thin to really do anything there. There we go. That was the flake I needed into that. That was a scary flake. Those can break on you. Okay, and then from this side I can rebuild the edge and shoot one to meet that, and I think that's going to eat up a lot of that high spot there. The point's getting smaller and smaller. Trying to skin this thing. sometimes if those platforms don't look right, man, don't hit on it if it kind of curls over and is not more square, man. Don't hit it. It'll do one of those, what do they call it, a ring crack, where it just kind of breaks off. There we go. That was the flake I wanted. Okay. 2 flakes maybe from the base up into that, and I think we're golden. Can start indirect. Oh yeah, that was a nice flake. Okay, that helped a lot. Still need one there from the side, but that platform's terrible. See right there how that won't take a hit. Woohoo! It wasn't quite a woo doggies, but that was a nice flake. Okay, one more from here. There we go. Alright guys, that's the biface. I'm going to do another video indirect from here. Let me take one more flake here with the direct percussion, and then I'll get my Ishi stick or my indirect stick ready, and then oh, it bit. Damn it. Sometimes it just doesn't flake right. One good indirect strike from this side into there, and I think this thing's gonna look really, really nice. So, and I'm hoping a couple indirects will get this hump off. But for a flake, that's a pretty nice biface out of that little flat flake. Not too bad. This stuff crunches up pretty bad on the end there, but not too shabby, guys. All right, I'll do the part 2. Guys, I'm back. So I found that if I have a bad crunchy area that I need to get an indirect flake on, that actually a pressure flaker gets it a much more solid working good edge that seems to work better. So I'm gonna just take a couple flakes down on that bad spot right there. I'm gonna go back, do the same thing, just take a couple little flakes that just kind of thickens it and gets a more consistent edge, I would say. Okay, and then I'm flaking to this side, so then I'm going to flake down and bevel it. And it doesn't take that much width, just kind of working the little edge with the little pressure flaker. Some people are so good, like Sal or Mr. Crafty, they just use their indirect stick and rework those edges, but I'm having more success doing it this way. So on the bad areas, I'll take my time and try to set up a platform. This indirect stick's still a work in progress. I've got to drill a little set screw. As this wears down, I want to be able to pull that out, but for now, see if we can get into that thick stuff. Damn, I'm lucky that didn't fall on that copper. It would have been a goner. Okay, there's a little platform there. Nope, it really didn't go. Damn it. Nope, that platform's still not right. Just not right. Alright, well, I gotta rework it some more. Darn it. Thought I had it, but it's still too thick. You know what? I can probably do one down here, below it maybe, and sneak up on it somewhat. That was a super nice flake. Now it kind of made a ridge, and now maybe that'll go, but it's crushed out right there. That's the problem. But look at that beautiful blending flake that went through there. Damn it. Okay, that was another flake above it, so now that's isolated. If I can just get the platform right, it'll go. I'm gonna try not directly there, but like maybe right here, and angle it a little bit. Nope, it's still not going. I'm gonna break it. All right, let me fix it. There we go. Now it's gonna go. Bad spot, guys. Man, that got narrow right there. Darn it. See if it can do it, guys. Took a little one. Yeah, that one bit deep. It did flake a lot of it off though, so one more and we'll be golden, I think. Man, this is scary thin up there. There's so thin right there now that that's a breaking point if I'm not careful. Okay, should be able to take a little flake now. See this bump that sticks out right there? I gotta get that off. Still didn't go. Still didn't go. Alright, I'm gonna try to pressure flake that off because I think I'm gonna break that. There we go. Much better, guys. Look out, boy. Alright. Okay, let's fix that platform there too so I can hit that one more time. Be nice. Look out, boy. No, those are my bones. Come here. Come say hi. I know. Don't step in the rocks. Those are. Come around. Charlie. Oh! Get him, Charlie. Are you a crazy guy? Are you a crazy guy? No. Okay, let me move this junk. You don't step in it. Alright, let's continue on, fellas. See if that platform's any good. Lost a little bit there. Hopefully we'll get this last little high spot here, guys. Got some of it, but it's still not quite right. All right, I'm gonna keep on moving forward, guys. See, that's that big dish adder area. You can't get any flakes into that because it's already concave the opposite way or whatever. Darn it. Spot. Just peel some off the back. spot here in the tip. See if we can indirect that off. It's a bit of a scary hit, but I don't want that there. Oh, that went deep. Damn. It got it, but whew. There we go. That's a little better. I think I can pressure flake that. Do one from this side too. And that was a deep flake. Here we go. Shot one across. Trying to learn to have the finesse like old Sal on some of those lighter hits. I'm like 10 to bam, because you got to hit it to get this stuff to go. But man, if you overstrike it, you can snap them. There's too much vibration. Man, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get that off. Yeah, that's too concave there to reach that, I think. Darn it. Alright guys, I'm going to try one and see what happens. One here first. Ooh, man. That was a nice flake. That took a bunch of that garbage off. Probably lucky that didn't break. That was brutal. Now I think I have a chance of getting one through there. Kind of like isolated it a little bit. Alright, right here. That. Very nice. One more high spot. Okay, and then a trick on this indirect that I'm learning is I like to angle my point slightly down to the ground to get those flicks to drive into the base of the point a little bit and try to go across. But man, when you're trying to do these delicate little, blending flakes like that, you do not want it to dig in. So if anything, back off on it a little bit or keep it parallel. Don't bend it down like that, and it seems to do better. It's one thing I'm finally learning. Alright guys, I just need one little flake right here. There we go. Look at that, so much better. Now if I can just do the same thing over here, man, with that bad spot, but it's just so thin right there. It's like really, really tough. That helped, that got most of that garbage off, man. That was sweet. I want to do an end strike there, but I think I'm going to do an angled strike down, because these end strikes with this basalt, that's when I snap them in half a lot of times. Okay, I'm going to go for that high spot down at an angle like that. Dug a little deeper than I wanted, but let's do another one. Here we go, not too shabs. Alright, let's clean up that edge with the pressure flicker. It's all nasty. This rock is so unforgiving, man. It just, you have to have your edges right, or it's just going to be a disaster. Yeah, I'm going to raise this a little bit more and shoot one down here and see if I can further isolate that bump, and then maybe finally get it to go. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of isolate it. Thicken that thin spot right there too to make it a little bit stronger. Alright guys, again I'm going to try to go below that nasty ridge and take a flake out here, and then maybe it'll further isolate that, and then maybe I'll have a better shot at it. Look at that. Holy cow, I think I just got it. Even going below it. Man, that was a nice flake. Yep, now there's just a tiny little piece there. I can just get that off with pressure flaking. I'm not going to do an indirect on that ridge. I'm going to do one more here. Woo doggies, that was a woo doggies flake right there. For sure. Dinner, chicken dinner right here. Kind of angle it down. Look at that. Nice. One more here. Nice. One more here. Nice. So I was worried I overshot it there for a second. Okay, raise this edge up, shoot one across there, and maybe I can get all that junk off. And this basalt's something else, guys. It's some temperamental stuff. Still don't have that corner quite right. There we go. Alright, so let's make sure this platform's right. We'll shoot a flake or two across there, and then this side's pretty good. I got one little bad spot here. That's about it. Got to get this stuff thin too to have a shot at notching it, because man, it's tough to notch. Gonna try to shoot one there before I proceed. Okay, support the tip with my finger up here. Try to support it. There we go. Don't want to hit it too hard. I'm kind of pussying out. I don't want to hit it too hard there. Snap the end shock on this volcanic rock is something else. Alright, so that got some more of that garbage out that just ran up and took that big bump. So now just some light flakes across there, man, and this is going to be a good preform. Okay, strengthen this edge. Doesn't take much, but alright guys, I think I got the right platform now. Let's get one into the base there. Okay, Tater Chip, we need you. Sorry, I am slow as hell with indirect, man. I just not very good at it. Look at that. That was so nice. That totally cleaned that up. One more up here. Shoot, we're golden. Yeah, like maybe right here. Support that tip. Doggies, that was it, man. Do I risk it for the biscuit and take one right there? It looks like it needs it, but it's gonna have to be a really light strike, because man, we're in the, this is the, as Mr. Jack Crafty says, this is the sweat stage or the danger zone here, man. Jeez. Afraid to hit it. No, I just crunched the edge basically. All right, I'm gonna pressure flake that. Gonna have to. All right, I'm gonna pause the video, sharpen my antler, and I'm gonna come back and pressure flake this up. Before I do, let's see. Man, I should have been able to do that right there. I wonder why it didn't go. Probably just being so scared of breaking it, I just didn't hit it hard enough. But now with that crushy edge, it's like, man. There we go. Man, that's thin for basalt. For me, that's amazing for basalt. All right, I'll be back. I'm gonna sharpen this, come back and do some pressure flake. A little risky, but looking at it, I noticed I've got a real thick spot down here on the base, and I have a nice little platform. So I'm gonna raise it a little bit. I'm gonna do one more indirect right there. That way, if I can thin that corner a little bit better, I think it's gonna notch better. It's risky, but risky goodies. I gotta do it. Guys, let's get that last little piece of. My wife brought me a drink outside, so I had to pause it there for a second. Go back to where we are. So I got this high spot right here down on the bottom corner. So I was gonna do one more indirect. And try to support the point the best that I can. Did it go? It went. Look at that. I went right into the corner. I did do a weird little kind of hinge, and I got still like a weird little flake right there still. So I'm going to try to just nip that off. There we go. That cleaned it up. So now with that corner thinner, I'll be able to notch it better, I think. We have the same thing going on here. A little bit, not too bad. Let's take one here. I'm not a very good notcher, so I need all the help I can get. Yep. Okay, one more, guys, one more. Try to support the tip out there. Nope, didn't go. Nope, didn't go. Did it go? Or did I hinge it? Got it. Oh, it dove down a little bit, but it did thin it down, so I can take one from the bottom into that and maybe take one more here, and I think we'll be good. That'll be thin enough to notch. I don't know why it dove down like that. That sucks, Beavis. Support the damn thing. Come on, broski. There we go. That was it. Yeah, once you get to a certain point and it's thin and there's no more convexity, but you got the indirect, it likes to shoot in and kind of dive down like that. It's just too thin. Okay. Looking good. All right, I'm gonna do some pressure work up here near the tip. Okay guys, looking at this thing a little bit. This is a little risky, but looking at it, I noticed I've got a real thick spot down here on the base, and I have a nice little platform. So I'm gonna raise it a little bit. I'm gonna do one more indirect right there. That way, if I can thin that corner a little bit better, I think it's gonna notch better. It's risky, but risky business. I gotta do it. Guys, let's get that last little piece of. My wife brought me a drink outside, so I had to pause it there for a second. Go back to where we are. So I got this high spot right here down on the bottom corner. So I was gonna do one more indirect. And try to support the point the best that I can. Did it go? It went. Look at that. I went right into the corner. I did do a weird little kind of hinge, and I got still like a weird little flake right there still. So I'm going to try to just nip that off. There we go. That cleaned it up. So now with that corner thinner, I'll be able to notch it better, I think. You have the same thing going on here. A little bit, not too bad. Let's take one here. I'm not a very good notcher, so I need all the help I can get. Yep. One more, guys, one more. Try to support the tip out there. Nope, didn't go. Nope, didn't go. Did it go? Or did I hinge it? Got it. Oh, it dove down a little bit, but it did thin it down, so I can take one from the bottom into that and maybe take one more here, and I think we'll be good. That'll be thin enough to notch. I don't know why it dove down like that. That sucks, Beavis. Support the damn thing. Come on, broski. There we go. That was it. Yeah, once you get to a certain point and it's thin and there's no more convexity, but you got the thin, the indirect, it likes to shoot in and kind of dive down like that. It's just too thin. Okay. Looking good. All right, I'm gonna do some pressure work up here near the tip. It's a little thick here. That bump off with that was perfect. Let's do a bump off on the other side. Look at that. All right, so any high spots where I can do a pressure flake here. I'd like to get one pressure flake into this kind of flat spot right there. I had fun this morning watching those Salve live blades and points, man. What a character, dude. You have some fun live streams, man. When I get my my napping shed up and going, I'm gonna start doing some too. All right, let's grab just that corner, push in. Did we get it? Yep, we got a flake into that spot. Let's do, and now we can do the one on the back side into that flat spot. Did it go or no? It went. Man, Okay. I got a high spot here. Okay, let's grind it and do a pressure flake there. It's okay, Charlie. See if we can pressure flake that little hinge thing off there. There you go. Let's do one more above it. There we go. Yeah, the edge is cleaning up nicely. Pressure flaking this stuff is tough. You got to remember, make sure your platform's strong enough to do it, because if it's not, it's just gonna collapse in on you and cause a big old hinge and make it look worse than it did. Alright, one little high spot there. And for basalt, this is pretty sweet, man. I'm pretty proud of this one. That flake, but it did do like a little tiny, almost like a little baby hinge. I kind of got lucky on that. There's another one. Alright, I'm not going to be greedy. This is too nice. I'm going to do one more flake down here. This side's really, really nice. This side has a little bit of high spot here, but man, I don't know if I want to risk doing an indirect into that. I need one flake right here, but man, let's risk it for the biscuit, I guess. You can see that little bump right there. Other than that, it's got a really nice face. And there it went. Woohoo! I'm so glad I did that, man. That's scary though. I got this weird little flake right there that I could probably flake off, but and that's thin right there too. Just get for the biscuit, I guess. Got it. Oh, Oh heck yeah, man, that totally fixed that. Okay. Now let's deal with this base area, man. This side is really nice. Take a flake off this corner. Didn't flake very smoothly. Still got a little high spot there. Shit. Damn, that little high spot's not coming off. There we go. Finally got it. I had to really push in. Okay. All right, that corner's done. Let's deal with this. See if there's any way to shoot one up and get some of that off. I don't know, guys. That fractures or hinge is probably a weak spot for the notches if I don't get it out of there. So I gotta try. I could send an indirect, but I could go deeper, or I could snap it. So I don't think I'm gonna do that. There we go. That thinned that out. Let's see if it'll go, guys. Oops, it's. Did the hinge go? Oh, it got down to it. So maybe one more there off at an angle. Damn, I might have to do an indirect to get that off. I don't want to, man, but I might have to. Man, this base is tough. There we go. There we go. There we go. You know what I'm thinking. Do I take an indirect or not? Stuff isn't flaking good enough to get it to travel as well, but I am going to try one more pressure flake and see what happens. Really push in on it. Nope, see, it only went to there, so. There we go. That just got the majority of it off. I can deal with that. Nice. I almost went indirect and I probably would have broken it, so. Much better. Ready for notch. 2 more flakes maybe into that high spot, dude, and then I think we can start notching it. And then what am I gonna not? How am I gonna notch this thing? It left a bump. I almost got it, but it left a bump. There we go, guys. Now the base is workable. Yeah, OCD and flint knapping's tough. I don't know when to stop, and it just go, and if I don't like a spot, I won't leave it. But you get greedy and you break it, then all that work was for what, you know? Just depends how far you want to risk it and push yourself. That helped too. Just trying to strengthen that because if you leave those little flaws, it's a break point when you do notching and stuff. Alright guys, okay, I'm going to take a break so I don't break this thing. I'm a little frustrated right now. I'm going to take one more flake here and then I'm going to take a break and then I'll do a part 3. pressure or notching the darn thing. Last flake, do your job here, guy. Nope. Good, that one went, the first one crushed. There it goes. Ugh. Just wasn't a clean area. There's the point, guys. Got a little irregularity in there, but I can deal with that. It's not perfect, but for this rock, man, I'll definitely take it. Not too shabby. I don't know, I could have taken an indirect into that and thinned it a little bit even better, but then I might not be sitting here with a point either, so it has a tiny bit of a curve to it. It's not terrible. Sometimes a couple flakes like that, you can help the curve. Yeah, that helped a lot. All right, guys, we'll come back and we'll notch her, and that'll be something. All right, guys, let's do like a little western side notch thing. And one thing with this basalt I've been struggling with is I tend to blow a lot of the notches out, and I want to keep the real narrow notches. So hopefully I'm getting better at it and I can do it. That's a really, really nice, but is that notch going to be too high? No. That's the perfect spot, or that's the perfect spot, and that's too low, so I guess I'm going to have to go here. See how it kind of breaks. It's really, really hard with this basalt to do narrow entry. It tends to kind of break off. There we go. Let's keep on trucking with that. That's not bad. If I can keep that width, I'll be really happy. There we go. That coned out the back. Just a tiny bit deeper. Try not to interact with the other side of the ear when I'm doing the angle like that. Woo, doggies, I'll take that all day long. Do I expand it a tiny bit? The problem is when I try to go at an angle, it wants to hit the other ear. Yep, not going to be greedy. I'll take that notch all day long. Alright, let's do this side. And then on these, I like to make it a little fancy and kind of bring the wing in a little bit, like kind of remove a little bit of material there. Alright, one thing I'm going to try is to keep that wing off the pad so I don't put pressure on that and then break the other side. Is that correct right there. And that one goes how? Down towards the base. They go down a little bit. See, that corner of that little ear broke off a little bit right there, but I can kind of save it by working that. But that's what happens is the stuff's so brittle, man, it just, I lose a lot of ears like that. Ooh, that bent. Okay, that's deep enough. Now if I can figure out how to fix that little corner that broke off of there. That sucks, man. Just a little tiny thing like that just makes it look ugly. Expand it a little bit in there and maybe it'll look better if it gets a tiny bit bigger inside. Okay. That's all I could do. I'll have to expand that one a little bit too. Alright, let's get the pressure flaker and fix some of the bad area. Let's see if we can minimize that damage on the corner by kind of doing an optical illusion here. See how that helps a little bit. Yeah, that helped a lot. Let's do that side. Those wings are cool, you know, they're a little bigger than I like, but man, with basalt, it's just tough. It's just really, really tough to keep them narrow like that. Gonna do the trick here too. Help minimize some of that broken corner look. Okay, do the same thing here. Out. Alright, this one's wider than that one now because I expanded that one out. So let's match it and fingers crossed I don't break it. That's tough. It's tough stuff. All right, let's hollow this base out. Pretty sweet, man. Curve those little feet like that. Okay, I'm going to take a couple pressure flakes up. Try to keep the point really square on the pad because I can't risk blowing an ear off. Putting a lot of pressure on that point. I don't think I'm going to put the little center notch in the bottom. I think I'm just going to leave the base concave like that. I'm not going to do the tri-notch. It looks pretty cool just as it is. And I don't have to risk breaking it. This is some brutal material, man. Okay, one flake. Oh shit. I like to get one flake into there, but man, it's starting to get thin. chin or ear kind of went at a steeper angle, so I had to match it. All right, that's that, guys. That looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and sharpen this tip. And I think we're golden. I'm not going to be too greedy on it. That's really, really cool looking. What was it, Charlie? Looking good. Thought those notches were too wide at first, but it's not bad. I think for obsidian I could have gotten more narrow with this shit, man. It's something else. I'm not gonna be greedy, man. This shit is tough. Got a couple little imperfect spots, but man, I know the natives would have been happy out of this stone with something like that. I'm pretty proud of that. Pretty neat. All right, guys, I really appreciate it. Happy New Year, man.